Self-Help is a brand new film directed by Eric Bloomquist. It'll soon be screening at the Fright Fest Film Festival in London on August 23rd. I got a little bit of an early look at the movie, which is sure to be a pleasant surprise for anybody that's a fan of psychological horror, especially when it comes down to the evil cult subgenre. Self-Help follows Olivia, played by Landry Bender, a young woman who decides to infiltrate a dangerous self-actualization community after her mom gets entangled with its enigmatic leader. As this all shouts weird cult vibes, Olivia decides to unwrap the truth of this group before she gets caught up in its grasp as well. So I don't exactly put it lightly when I say that this is why I love what I do. This is why I love to review film. Not for the big summer blockbusters that everybody else and their moms are talking about day in and day out, but for the smaller films that nobody else really ever heard about before. Because while so many of them might end up being mediocre to just plain bad, others slip through the cracks and end up being the biggest hidden gems of them all. Some of the best movies I've ever seen were hidden gems exactly like that. I'm talking about movies that maybe on the surface don't look or sound very original or appealing. Maybe the poster looks cheap, maybe the trailer doesn't exactly win you over, but once you actually watch the thing, it defies all logic and it surpasses every expectation. That's actually what Self-Help is, and that's why it receives my hidden gem stamp of approval. This one surprised me because it legitimately is a very good psychological horror film. Instead of just going the basic evil cult route, Self-Help does a little bit of a reverse psychology on you by saying it might look like a duck, it might sound like a duck, but trust me bro, it's a goose. Basically, it's trying to tell the audience that maybe it's not a cult after all. Maybe it's just a bunch of weird people doing a bunch of weird stuff because for them, that's their truth. I actually love this part of the movie. Before things got too deep into the horror element, this cult, or not cult, or whatever you want to call it, essentially had one goal in mind: to hit a mental reset button with those that follow the leader. Get them to be who they wish to be on a really incredibly deep level without the expectations of society. There's so many of us that right now act or try to look a certain way around others because we're trying to fit in, or we're trying to get the approval of somebody else instead of looking inward and finding that self-actualization that honestly, a lot of us really do need. There was a short video in the movie that the characters were watching where they were asked, what would they do, say, sing, hum, whatever, in the middle of the woods when nobody was watching them, because in a way, that is who you truly are, free from those expectations of society. That actually made a little bit of sense to me when I was watching, and I thought maybe for a microsecond that this really wasn't a cult. Maybe it was just an eccentric group going above and beyond to radically reset the minds of disturbed people. Even after the film is done and over with, I think that there are certain elements going on that don't fully feel like a cult, at least not traditional. Though the further the film went along, the more it delved into legitimate horror and tension, and the feeling of unease never really went away, which is a good thing. That means that the audience at home feels connected with our main character, Olivia, and they're going through the journey with her. On a technical level, I believe that the film did a really good job, particularly when it comes down to its editing. Sometimes in order for a movie to consistently feel at edge and full of tension, you need the editor to make some really smart decisions in the editing room. And the same people that wrote and directed this film, Eric and Carson Bloomquist, also edited it. Which is, one, a ton of responsibility to juggle, but two, you could have fooled me, regardless of how much responsibility the Bloomquist had in this film, because, by the way, Eric also played one of the main roles of the movie, doing an insanely good job at his acting, by the way. They both excelled in every single department that they worked on here. Eric wasn't the only actor to have impressed me in his performance either. I couldn't think of a single actor that didn't impress me. I think that the main actor here, though, that more or less people will be discussing is Jake Weber, who portrayed the cult leader of sorts, or not cult, or whatever you want to call it. You may know him from Dawn of the Dead, or Medium, or Meet Joe Black. He is definitely a face that I recognize from the past, but I was honestly blown away by his gruff voice and performance of this charismatic but mysterious leader. Our Olivia, played by Landry Bender, also carried the film emotionally, and in general, the movie was also shot really well. Personally, I think that if you're a fan of horror or movies featuring an evil cult, I honestly think you'll get a kick out of Self-Help. I don't think that it's the best movie of the year. I don't think it's even close to being a masterpiece. I also don't think that's terrifying in the world of horror, but it is a good psychological thriller, and in a big way, it'll make you think. I'm gonna give this 76 out of 100 possible stars. For me, that is a B letter grade. But guys, have you seen this movie? Have you seen Self-Help? If you have, let me know in the comment section down below what you thought about it. Did you also enjoy it? What is your favorite evil cult-like movie? As for YouTube, you guys know what to do. Hit the like, subscribe button, and bell to be notified when I come out with my next review, whenever that may be. And until then, peace out.